Hey folks, it is Wednesday, December 8th. The time right now is 1:50 p.m. and the temperature is around minus 2 degrees Celsius. And I'm here at Berczy Park. And this is just to the east of the city's financial district. And I just finished recording a walk that ended here. And then I went across the street into that Tim Hortons and I had myself some lunch. And I thought I was going to head home after that, but it has continued to snow. In fact, it's snowing quite a bit more than it was earlier, so I thought I still have about 50% battery life on the camera. So why not fire up another walk? And this is Wellington Street. And that's a look to the east towards church. And that was my first time eating inside a Tim Hortons in quite a while. Might even have been a few years. Even during the best of times, I don't normally eat in at Timmy's, but it was the closest place and I was quite hungry. So I grabbed a ham sandwich and a medium double-double, the old classic. And here's Yonge Street, so I think I'll just walk north up Yonge Street for a bit. I'm curious to see if the Christmas decorations are up at Dundas Square yet. And it's not often I get to record much of a snowfall in this part of downtown. It's often the case that when it's snowing, it is much lighter around the financial district, and I think that's because it's a bit warmer from all the towers. And this isn't a particularly heavy snowfall, but there does seem to be some ground accumulation. So this is north up the east side of Yonge. And the walk I just recorded started at River Street and King and went through Underpass Park and then the Distillery District. I like to walk on the outside of the scaffolding whenever possible. And here's King Street, and here's where you'll find King Station. And maybe I'll walk north up the west side of Yonge. That'll take you into the heart of the financial district if you were to continue west on King Street here. Often when I do these Yonge Street walks, I like to go all the way up to Yonge and Bloor, or sometimes even Rosedale or Summer Hill. Although I'm thinking this one might be on the shorter side. I might not have the battery to get all the way up there. There's a look at Craft. And here's Adelaide Street. There's always a neat skyscraper canyon effect on Adelaide. And Temperance Street. I've never actually been to this place, the Dining Coffee Company. I think they have some other locations. And I was reading an article saying that starting next year, for up to the next 7 years, Richmond Street here, traffic is going to slow to a crawl. And that is due to construction of the Ontario Relief Line. It said that traffic will be moving at an average pace of less than 4 kilometers during rush hour, or 4 kilometers per hour, which is slower than I walk, and much slower than most cyclists move. And due to the construction, there won't be much in the way of alternate routes available. Seven years does seem like an awfully long time. Although we're kind of experiencing that up at Yonge and Eglinton, where I live, with the never-ending crosstown construction. I'd love to hear a transit expert from Seoul, or one of those countries where they build subways quite efficiently, and see what they have to say about our extra slow subway and underground LRT process here. I'm by no means qualified to talk on it, but I did live in Seoul. And with very minimal street disruption, entire subway lines were built. That was right at a major intersection. And just off to the east there, you'll find City Hall, or rather the west. And I know what I can do. I can swing up through Ryerson University and check out the public skating rink there. And there's also the Barbara Ann Scott Ice Trail at College Park. There's the Massey Tower. what I could have done was walked over to City Hall and checked out the skating rink there. Then walked back over to Ryerson and then up to college. We called this an outdoor ice skating team walk. I'll have to save that idea for January. There's also the ice trail at the Bentway, which should be opening up pretty soon. And here is Shooter Street. And this is the Eaton Center just on my left. So when I get to Dundas Square up ahead here, I'll turn right. Then I'll head north through the campus. Check out the rink, then I'll pop back over to Yonge on Gould Street. There's a look over into one of the side entrances to the Eaton Center. And that's new, that furniture store. That used to be a Foot Locker. But they relocated north where the Jordan store used to be. I don't see any branding on that store. 247 Yonge. I know a few people that would like to pop in there. There's the Ed Mirvish Theater. And what was formerly EV Games, but they've officially become just GameStop here in Canada. Eventually, the American brands usually rebrand when they get here. We had a store called Future Shop at one time. That was eventually rolled into the Best Buy brand. Speaking of which, there used to be a Future Shop just up here in this building, but that is now a Winners. And they consolidated that location with the Best Buy brand, or their Best Buy location, which is just to the west of here in a new wing of the Eaton Center, or new-ish. A free Koran. This is usually Busker Central at this street corner. Let's see if we get a scramble crossing here. There we go. But amazingly, the Christmas decorations are not yet up at Dundas Square. Although you can see away from the street, snow does accumulate at a pretty good rate. I guess it's all the heat from the sewers and the vehicles that keeps it kind of melted. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the center of the universe. At least that's what other Canadians think Torontonians think of their city. Obviously, we don't. But I think there's a strong case of big city envy outside of Toronto in this country. People often talk smack about Toronto, perhaps without appreciating the fact that this city often subsidizes much of what goes on around Canada. It's certainly the economic engine of the country. That said, I'd still love to get out and explore most of the cities in Canada. It's been a while since I've been able to do that sort of thing. I did go to Montreal earlier this year, and Ottawa, both fantastic cities. So here's Victoria Street, and I'm gonna have to hoof it to get to the north side, and it's not worth doing. My counter, it's just about expired. So north of here will lead us into Ryerson University. And this is Victoria Street. And this skating rink coming up is quite neat at night. This is a rather nice light display in one of the buildings just beside it. I don't think we'll get to see that. And if you're wondering about my footwear on a day like this, well, I'm pleased to report that my feet are bone dry. I'm just rocking my regular running shoes. There's Toronto Public Health. Just pointed the camera away at someone who was making some gestures towards me. It's usually best to just look away and ignore. Here's the Raymond Chang School of Continuing Education. And it looks like the ice trail is, or the ice surface is covered in a fresh coating of snow. There's some people out there braving it. It can still be fun to skate in these conditions. That building right there is the one that lights up at night. If you were to come here, you'd have this pretty much all to yourself. Certainly a good time to get some practice in. And here is Gould Street. And once upon a time there was a statue of Egerton Ryerson just over there to the left. I think he's been publicly disgraced. Still not sure what's going on with the name of this institution. There have been rumors that the University of Toronto would take over. Here's the Ryerson Student Learning Center. And there's an outdoor food market just here on the left. All right, let's cross Yonge at this light. Then I'll head up to Gerrard and duck into College Park, and we'll check out the ice skating trail there, where I think there'll be regular ice clearing service there as I get a frog in my throat. There's a look south down Yonge Street. And another look at the Student Learning Center, which I quite like. Someone having a good time across the street. And here's where Swiss Chalet used to be. And the Big Slice used to be in that corner. That was an institution in this area. Although at least there's some movement on this condo project again. And I've read that the Chelsea Hotel over there might be under redevelopment at some point. I want to put a 74-story tower right here on the left, which I don't really have a problem with. The major corridor is the appropriate place for that sort of thing, but you really don't want to see this kind of street retail disappear. And large condo developers tend to favor larger spaces where they can attract more stable tenants, things like banks and major chains. And we end up with kind of generic, boring storefronts with the same old stores, and a street like Yonge Street loses a lot of its character. And that is happening all the way north up Yonge to Yonge and Bloor, and even beyond a little bit. And just beside me on the left is the future home of an urban format IKEA. But I want to check out the Barbara Ann Scott Ice Trail here. And my camera is telling me I only have 2 minutes and 30 seconds of recording left. This memory card is just about full. Maybe it's a sign that I should be ending this one soon, right at the buzzer. So it'll be on the short side. I've got 3 videos now on this one memory card. There's the ice trail. And there's some Christmas decorations here. There's a cooling system underneath the ice trail that keeps the ice frozen. I'm gonna look up at what is, for the time being, the tallest residential building in the country. That is Aura College Park, just behind me there. And on that note, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership in the description. I also have an Instagram account. And there's a link for PayPal donations.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just going to let this one run down to the buzzer. There's 10 seconds left. All right. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one. 3, 2, 1, yoink.